Now it's true, the internet has everything from advice on avoiding swine flu to allowing you to give your opinion on other people's fashion sense. And our internet expert, Maeve Kneafsey, joins us with her top websites of this week. And you've chosen some really interesting ones this week, Maeve. They're really a bit kooky. Well, some of them are very serious, but some of them are a bit kooky and off the wall.
Yeah, it's kind of a wide variety for every angle and for every mood that you're in.
Certainly is. Our first one then. The Satoralist, .blogspot.com.
Yeah. This is a fantastic blog. I mean, I just think it's such a clever and simple idea. Essentially, there's a guy called Scott Schumann, who was working in the industry, in the fashion industry, and he began to see that there's quite a big disconnect between what's going on in the fashion showrooms and actually what's going on the street.
On the streets, yeah.
So he started collecting photographs of people that he spotted on the street, just in terms of their style and their fashion, and started to put them together in a blog. So he's gone all over the world doing this. He just follows, walks through the street, stops people.
New York, Milan,
exactly.
Anywhere he is, he gets the camera out and actually just pictures ordinary people walking down the street and discusses their fashion.
Exactly, and I think what's different about it is that it is not all about really expensive clothes. It's about style, and it's about being unique, and also it's about wide age groups. So you're not just talking about the beautiful 25-year-olds. It's everything from women in their 80s and men in their 80s right through to younger kids. So it's a fantastic kind of education in different looks that isn't conformist. It isn't what you see every single day, and it's beautifully put together and very well written.
And people who are into fashion would just love that.
Or even people who are just looking for ideas and inspiration.
Oh right, yeah, of course.
Very straightforward.
Very, very straightforward and very good idea. And as you said, very well put together. Very well
really
put
clean,
together.
Really simple. It's not complex. It's just one story to tell, and you'll find it there.
Now, a more serious side is our next humanresources.about.com.
Yes.
And this gives advice to employers especially.
It does,
about sort of the way things are at the moment, and if you have to face about downsizing, if you have to let people go, and practical tips on how to do that. Exactly.
What happened was a couple of people have been asking me about downsizing and how, there are good resources out there and advice, and the best place I found was this particular one, which is humanresourcesabout.com. But what was brilliant about it is far wider than that, because it tries to make you look beyond just, am I doing everything by the book, and tries to consider, well, what about all the people around me, what about the team around me, what about the person who perhaps I have to fire, what about the team who are left behind, and all of the kind of softer side of doing that properly and effectively without just following the legal advice, because it's not just about rights, it's about people's emotions and feelings and empathising and supporting people. So it does that, but it also does really clever things, like it shows you how to use social networks, for example, to generate business, to raise your profile, to find a job, and it's very practical and straightforward, because these things are all out there, but most of us don't necessarily know exactly how to utilise them to our advantage. So it's a very, very straightforward and easy to follow.
I was going to say that, easy to follow, no nonsense. So like for employers and for people who may be looking for jobs, it's very easy to follow straightforward facts and information.
Exactly, and I mean they're literally, they're not trying to make it complicated. It's laid out in steps, and if you follow it, certainly I think it would work for you.
Okay, www.ehow.com. This is just amazing. Literally, this is a website that has everything on it.
And in fact, it sounds awful when you say everything, because you think, well, that's overwhelming. But in fact, it's really well organised. And I came across it because I was looking for how to avoid swine flu. And I came across this site and I asked the guys in the office, they all knew it, they'd all used it. It's just full of resources. So everything from how to grow potatoes in a bin, how to avoid swine flu.
How to write a book.
How to write a book, and video content plus written content plus reviews, plus you can add your own wisdom to it. But there's some really
There's some brilliant ones here.
Yeah.
Some like the American one, sort of how to tell your guests politely it's time to leave. How do you know if your Christian friend is a true friend? How to deal with the other woman, and how to get on with the woman who had an affair with your husband.
And true to Americans, they take it all so seriously. They're dead straight about this. It's not a joke, and it's certainly not tongue-in-cheek.
How to deal with the woman who had the affair with your husband. And there's advice on it.
Step-by-step guide.
Brilliant, but literally, from serious things like the full practical advice on swine flu, the do's and don'ts, and then silly little things, but like ehow.com. It's a fantastic website. Okay, now this one I love, because this woman just set it up in her own bedroom, and she got 34 million views on it, and now she's signed up to do it. It's bylaurenluke.com.
I mean, the idea seems dead simple, but everybody looks at YouTube and thinks that's a great place to broadcast myself if I have the content to do it in video. And this young girl, I think she was 19 when she started off, started doing broadcasts through YouTube of her applying makeup.
Her makeup.
Exactly,
yeah.
and showing you how to do different styles. And it just took off, basically. Both you can log onto her website and you'll see the YouTube, but you can also search for her on YouTube. And you know, if you pick a style, let's say Audrey Hepburn, I think what was different about her was she'd be able to show you how to get that look.
Yeah.
And of course, then it's rolled and rolled and grown and grown and grown. 34 million viewers.
34 million hits.
So
yeah.
it's massive. She's a really simple style of delivery. There's no kind of. She's very down to earth. She's a young girl. She's not a model. So there's lots of reasons
why.
why.
You can just see women all over the world sitting down watching her, just applying the simple things and the simple ways of doing it, and they're going, that's what I need to do.
Exactly. And of course she's made money, which is great for her.
And she's been signed up by a big major company.
And she's got her own line as well of cosmetics that she sells through the site.
The internet. So like she applies it on if you want to buy my blusher or mascara. So it's a fantastic way of creating your own little business, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
It's
and her
amazing.
cost is to her makeup and that's it. And probably her little webcam that
her
she
little
records
webcam,
herself.
Yeah. Now, IKEA.ie, we can't order yet online in Ireland.
I mean, I went online thinking, that's it, I'll order it all online. I won't have to go out to the store and queue. But of course, it's not ready to do that yet. You can't buy through the website, but you can use some of the tools on it, which I thought were really worthwhile, you know, highlighting. And they've got kitchen planners, they've got bedroom planners, and they're a little bit of software that you go into the site, you download it onto your own laptop, and then literally you can go in and design your kitchen, put in your dimensions and try different styles and different looks. Then you save it, which is actually on the IKEA server. It'll teach you how to do it right through. And then when you go out there, you're ready to go. And all that kind of labour and legwork is done before you go.
And you don't have to be wandering around for hours because you have it in your head exactly where you're going and what you're doing.
Exactly. And you can do a shopping list as well, which may seem, well, you know, I can write that myself. But in fact, you can check all the codes for all the products and make sure they're there.
They're there,
yeah.
Which is brilliant. OK, now let's have a look at last week's poll. We asked you, do you think taxpayers get value for money from their TDs? Well, surprise, surprise, 98% of you think that no, we don't get value for money, while just 2% of you thought that we did. Now, this week's poll is, do you think the Irish economy is on the road to recovery? To register your vote, you can log on to www.pigsback.com and we'll have the results in 2 weeks' time. Maeve, thank you very much for that this morning.
Thank you.